Okay, so this time let's work on a sort of quick video on how to actually make the butterfly. All right, and I've done something like this before, so this will be a review for some of you, but I'll do it kind of quick. And so let's get started with that. Let me switch cameras and I'll be right back. Okay, so to do that, we're going to work with some layers, right? And I'm going to show you one thing before I jump right into it. When I imported this DXF from MakerCase, it actually brought with it a whole bunch of layers, which is fine. What I want to do, though, is I think I'm going to reduce it down because I don't want to have that many layers. And they're all the same. You know, there's no big advantage to any one of them. But you can see that as I click on or hide a layer, you can see everything I've done so far has went into layer 0. So if I turn off that, I'm going to turn off most of these. Okay, you can see that this one layer right here is the only thing that's on this particular layer. So this back outside cut path is on that particular layer. So if I want to, you don't have to do this. I can go here, I can select attributes, and then I can simply move it to that layer. For example, the base layer. Say OK. And now you can see that it'll show up on my base layer, which means that I can take this layer and simply get rid of it. Okay. And now I've got rid of one of those layers. So if I turn off my base layer and I turn on this layer, okay, we can see the bottom outside. Once again, I can do this. I can select it. I can now go to attributes and I can set that to layer 0. And once again, you can see that it now shows up in layer 0, which means that I can hide or I can delete this particular layer, and long it is gone. Okay, so let me pause it. I'm going to get rid of all these layers, bring it down to just one, and then I'm going to add new layers. So give me just a moment. Okay, so I'm now going to do the tracing of the butterfly, and I'm going to show you a couple of things when I do that. You can see that I've put everything on the same layer. So I am going to add a new layer, and I'm going to call this layer my image layer. Oops, I can't spell it. And it doesn't matter too much. I'm going to throw it a different color in the background. And now that you can see my image layer is highlighted, what I want to do is I want to go now and I want to import an image. And I'm going to go to downloads, and I've got a bunch of junk here. I know I had it saved as something butterfly. Butterfly JPEG, there it is. Okay. Popped up on my other screen. Let's find my butterfly JPEG. For heaven's sakes. It's not scrolling down. Give me a moment. Oh, that was silly. I was typing in the wrong box. Part of that freezing up when you're shooting a video. Okay, butterfly JPEG. There it is. Open it up. And it's going to ask me where I want to put it. I'm going to put it over here to the side. I'll put it right there. Okay. Whoa, look how huge that is. All right. So clearly we need to make this guy quite a bit smaller. I think actually before I even estimate, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this guy quite a bit smaller. So let's go ahead and scale it and choose my reference point, and I'm going to make it, oh gosh, let's say well, quite a bit smaller. There we go. Alright, so now let's do it the right way. I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a measurement. I'm going to make a horizontal. I'll make a vertical measurement. I think I want this to be about 120, so it overhangs the box just a little bit. So I'm going to make a vertical measurement, and I'm going to go from here to there and drag it off. And let's take a look how big that is. That is 430. So what we want to do is we want to get it down to about 120 millimeters, so that would be 430 times x is equal to 120, which means that we want to take 120 and divide it by 430, and which means we want to multiply it by essentially 0.3. So let me drag this off to the side. Let's go ahead and do that. Escape. Oh, we gotta click on the box. Escape. Okay. And let's get this guy down and scale it to 0.3. Okay. And if we did it right, we should be about 100 or 130. 130. Okay, that's close enough. So we're going to go with 130 millimeters. And what I want to do is I want to trace this guy out. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to create another layer. And let's call this my sketch layer. And I find magenta shows up nicely. So I'm going to choose magenta. Say OK. Let's zoom in on it. Okay. So I want to turn off snaps because I want to try to trace this guy, and I do want to do it quick. So I'm going to go to freehand. I'm going to go spline through points, and then I'm going to draw something that's going to be essentially closed off. So let me make sure it's selected on closed. Come on, choose closed. There we go. And let's do this fast. All right, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to, actually, I'll probably do this really lousy and then realize that you're going to do a better job. Okay? So I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this. I want you to spend a little more time. You just need to know how to do it. So let's go kind of quick. Something like that. Again, please, you can do a better job than me. All right, and if we hide our image, you can see we've got our outline of a wing. So now let's do the same sort of thing on the inside here. Let's do, again, I'm going to do this super fast, not even going to care about it necessarily. Okay, see how we're doing. All right. And we'll do this one similarly. Okay. And let's see how my 30-second drawing went. Oh, looks okay. So let's do the body. I'm going to start here. We do want to have 2 points where we can put a couple of holes. We're going to run some jewelry rings to attach the wings to the body. Again, I'm very fast here today. Okay, see how we did. Okay, not so great, but good enough. Okay, you can actually clean this up after the fact. If you highlight it, sometimes it takes a minute to highlight. You can actually move these blue dots if you want to kind of reshape it a little bit, give it some symmetry, line it up. Okay, so cleaning it up is not that hard to do. But we're going to leave it the way it is right now because what I want to show you is first, let me change these color. I'm going to select this, and I want to change their color to something more vivid. And we're going to tell the laser to behave differently on this. So we're going to make them yellow. So this way we're going to etch the yellow and then cut out the magenta. And on my butterfly, I put some pattern on here. So what I had done is I selected one of these borders here like this. And I went to copy move. I chose a reference point. And then I dragged it out a little bit like that. And then I said I want to make multiple copies. I'll make 2 of them again. And you can see I've got sort of that cool pattern, and I'll do that right here as well. Selecting these, you have to actually get close to one of the blue dots. So once again, move. I'm going to change my anchor point. I'm going to drag this out a little bit, and I'm going to make multiple copies. Say OK. OK, there we go. So now we want to just copy this and put it on this side of our butterfly. So I'm going to select all of this. Like so. Come on, find one of those anchor points. There they are. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to choose the mirror. And then I create the mirror surface. I want it to be right down the middle. And I might have to edit that a little bit, that body, because I have an overlap. But we can do that. Keep the original. OK. And then, like I said, this body is just not going to work. It's going to cut into it, so I'm going to move a couple of these blue dots in, some, and that one, and that one, something like that. Okay, so now what we need are the holes. So keep in mind, I have my wings linked with these sort of jewelry links. Okay. So we need to do that. I'll say that the links that I have in the lab, in the classroom, 1 millimeter was a little tight and it just didn't quite work as well as I'd like. So the holes have to be a little bit bigger than that. So I'm going to say probably about 1.3 or 1.4 millimeters. Or even, well, let's go with 1.2 maybe. 1.2, so a radius of 0.6. So I'm going to choose a circle and center point, and we want to have it at some point where it can kind of articulate. I might have to manipulate this body so it's a little smoother between these 2 places. Actually, let me do that first real fast. Let's take this and bring it up like that. And then, let's see, is there another one there? There is. Something like that. That might be better. Okay, so let's go with that circle. And I want it in a bit because I don't want it too close to these edges. This is going to be a fragile. It's going to be working up and down, back and forth. So let's bring that in a bit. And then I said 0.6. Something like that. And then I want to do the same thing here. 0.6. And I'm going to do one down here. And again, you can use these axes to help line it up. Don't worry about putting it on the pattern. It'll be fine. 0.6. And 0.6. And of course, you could copy it, but I'm just going to put it, I'm going to do it by hand. Get that kind of lined up. Oops, I didn't do good. You can do better than me. Again, I'm rushing here. In fact, I certainly hope you do better than me. There you go. So now when I cut this out, I will be able to put rings through these holes, and then I'll be able to have my wings, which are articulated like so. Okay, so hopefully that will give you a clue. I'll shoot one video on assembly, and once again, I will see you all soon.